shot in the playoffs, they need to make sure that they get every single win that they can.
And not just every single win, but perhaps a sweep. Because we all know, actually, for people watching that don't know, we have a point system here where if you get 2-0, you get 3 points. Then if you lose or win 2-1, you get 1 point for each win that you get. So that means if LPE wins this 2-1, they're just going to get 2 points. Of course, for LPE to enter the playoffs, they would want to get that 3 points. And against Blacklist, that's going to be ultra hard.
That is going to be the case. As BMO immediately secures the first blood onto Wise. Does he have high and dry? No, he does not.
Well, that was quite surprising from the side of LPE. Definitely the aggression is rewarded here, but BMO might just be paying with his life, but the flicker is there, and he will be surviving. This is quite the rotation coming in from BMO.
I like this. The aggressive BMO jungle, just try to put a dent or try to delay Wise as much as possible. He already lost his orange buff in the process. He's forced out of the purple buff as well because he's fearing for the life of himself.
Nah, man, this is really hard for Blacklist International. Delayed by minutes here from BMO. And this is the power of a Grok that knows how to play aggressively. But he has to temper that aggression. Look at the damage coming in from Arbs.
Wise already low on HP. Ryota trying to resurface their aspect also in range. Does have the Tempest of Blades available, but he's just going to drop down and take down Esson in the process.
Wow, wow. Look at this. A level 1 Wise against a level 4 Ling on the hands of Aspect. This is what happened in the early game for LPE.
I think LPE already unlocked the code.
Who knows?
This may be it, because the way that the other teams have been playing against Blacklist International is that they're focusing so much attention on the other lanes. They're not focusing on Wise. They only focus on Wise in team fights because they know how big of an impact he is. But with Blacklist International right now, with LPE, Ard spotting down Wise, a 2-level gap. Wise, for that matter, he has to fall down. BMO's here to respond. Aspect will go for the assassinate, no doubt. Does have the Tempest of Blades available and will be forcing it down.
Oh no.
That's the way to take down Blacklist International.
LPE, they're playing insanely in this early game. It's not even over. Aspect goes down though. Blacklist International, they bite back. BMO looks to be next here, already 100 HP down.
He doesn't have the wild charge available yet, but that's perfectly fine. The way that LPE has been winning this is because they're making sure that Wise doesn't have any space to work with.
And this is amazing play coming in from LPE. I love the use of diversion there. Nobody knew that the Lu Yi was immediately there, and if the rotation landed, that could have been a completely different story. Wise could be potentially sitting at 0-3 right now if that rotation combo landed. Sadly, it did. LPE still in this game, just making sure that Wise is not comfortable inside his own jungle.
Not a lot of money here on the lead for LPE. It's a waiting game to see how big of a stretch LPE can really go for here. As Esson immediately down to 1/3 of his HP. That's not what you want to see.
Well, that's the power of an early aggressive Lu Yi that actually got a lot of assists as well. 0, 1, and 3. Plus running that, I think that's a, well, that's not in pure rage, but what do you call that again? Basically the emblem that gives you more burn damage, but looks like they're going to go to the bottom lane instead. That's going to be a 1-for-1 for now.
It evades myself as well. It's a tip of the tongue what you're talking about. But yeah, and Edward gets caught out. Oh, Edward catches Ryota, I mean. Ryota already gets the brunt of the Death Sonata, but it's not enough.
Well, right now we are looking at LPE still actually not ahead anymore. This game is very even in terms of gold. Wise is severely behind compared to the Ling, but this is again a very even game in terms of gold. The hook doesn't really land, but for Blacklist, they're surviving quite well, even if they lost early game.
Yep, and well, LPE, they're trying to get a hold of this turtle, and they're focusing all of their attention onto Wise, and that is Wise down, but that's the trade for BMO as well, and this is not looking for LPE, but they have priority over the turtle. They just need to zone out Blacklist, and that they do properly. It's just Oh My Venus alive in that engagement.
What a play coming in from LPE. Blacklist already dropped the turtle in half. They wanted to secure that objective for themselves, but they didn't discount the fact that LPE could immediately respond, could immediately steal away the turtle, and now they lost 4 lives for no exchanges, plus the turtle on the side of LPE. Arbs in that fight was amazing, but let's give credit to Aspect as well for entering at the correct moment and stealing away that turtle.
And this is just going to convert into objectives for LP. They're now poised to force a fight in the bottom lane. I don't think this is a good choice for them, just because Oh My Venus is nearby. But BMO still flickers him, goes for the wild charge in the backlines. He gets bitten by Franco, and that's unfortunate.
That's very unfortunate for the side of LPE. BMO definitely knew that he had to do that for the aggressive play, but the miscommunication and the lack of execution just gave Blacklist a free kill, and sometimes it just doesn't work, you know?
But you know what worked for LPE though? They lost BMO, but they took Wise in the process in the mid lane.
Wow.
He's putting Wise really far behind, as Ryota is in a duel against Edward, and there's nothing much that he could do there. This is a game plan that LP should continue doing if they want to secure this game at the very least. Make sure Wise doesn't get his item advantage.
Yeah, and Wise right now, 1-4-1. This is not a fun game to be playing Ranger. And you have a Mathilda and a Franco, which means you could definitely go for the aggressive plays, but then again, we haven't seen a lot of those coming in from LPE. It's all coming in from Blacklist, rather. We have seen LPE go for the more aggressive maneuvers, and Esson is playing a very defensive Franco right now. Arms on the
diversion in the back line. Arms and Jake the Dog, surprise-wise, he's gone out and down for the count. Esson forced the flicker out, does have the hook, will not connect onto anybody. And here comes Edward to try to go for the Daytona's welcome. He will go for Jake the Dog, if I'm not mistaken. Edward, actually Arms. It was Arms that actually got the brunt of the Daytona's welcome. Aspect forced to actually jump around the walls and do a little bit of parkour because there's not a lot that he can do there. BMO and Ryota, the only healthier members left alive here, all things considered. But BMO will make it out alive. Ryota will be fending everybody off.
Well, that's a 2-for-0 exchange for the side of LPE, or a 2-for-1 with Wise going down once again. This is starting to become a problem for both LPE and Blacklist. Wise is going severely behind, that's for sure, but the rest of Blacklist are still online. And LPE are forgetting that. They are delaying Wise, but not everyone else. Look at Venus right now, 3-0-3, and Oheb is 2-0-1. You have to take notice of everyone else.
Oh, hold up, though. Ars goes for the Tempest of Blades, will not secure a kill off of that, but that is a 2-for-1 trade in favor for Blacklist International.
Right now, Blacklist International, they're still inside this game, mainly because everyone else stepped up. All of the attention that LPE gathered to try and take down Wise is getting cashed out on the side of Blacklist International on Oheb and Oh My Venus. This Mathilda hurts. 4-0-4 already. It looks like the turtle will be going to the hands of
He
BMO.
actually stole it! The Madman BMO with the wild charge knocks up 4 members in the process!
And they get the mid lane turret to LPE with a heist of century there, stealing away the turtle and stealing away the mid lane turret as well. LPE, they're not giving this for free for Blacklist. Wise is behind. Even if Venus and the others hurt, they're still going at it.
Because of that single take, they're ahead by almost 2,000. That doesn't seem like a lot. But considering Wise is 1-6-2 right now, the money is not effectively being funneled to the primary carry.
And speaking of primary carry, it seems like Oheb will be the guy to look at for Blacklist at this point in time. 4-0-1 with the flickers, a lot of mobility on this hero. Meanwhile for LPE, BMO has been playing very aggressively, one of which backfired against LPE, but most of his plays have been working well. In fact, working great. Stealing away the turtle and getting space for LPE to destroy the mid lane turret, that gave them the 2k lead.
And this is just a snowball waiting to be bigger and bigger if LP just continues on with the pressure. Because as far as we can tell, Blacklist International, they don't have any responses to the aggression that LP is doing.
Well, right now, Blacklist International may not have that response, but they still have the aggressive plays that they could do with this Franco. The moment that Iron Hook lands, it's going to be a great time for Blacklist International, but LPE, they don't need to wait for the Iron Hook. They don't need to wait for anything.
Oh, the diversion,
this is the diversion, though.
That is just BMO on his own. He's trying to spot out Wise to try to go for the steal once again. It forced a lot of rotations here on the side of Blacklist International towards the top side too.
Yeah, and not just rotations, but at this point in time, you should also be counting if the diversion is up. Because every time the diversion is up, Blacklist International seem to get surprised by it.
And they're going for it. Oh My Venus will pop the ult, will find Jake the dog, and will be zoned out by Ryota. And in the process, Oheb is already low on HP. Arvs almost takes him out. But meanwhile, over the backline, Aspect just doing his job, taking down the backliners here, taking down Esson and Wise in the process. Now it's just Edward left alive here for Blacklist International. And I don't think that they will stop. Bimos does have the Guardian's Barrier. He will opt to throw it up and go for the Daytona's Welcome Flicker to
I don't think that's enough, but
it's not enough.
It's an ultra tanky Edward here, but that's going to be a wipeout for the side of LPE. And that was a 5-for-1 exchange. Only Arvs going down, and they're going to take the Lord as well. LPE, they're slowly decoding the Blacklist International here.
That's a free Lord. And those were 5 free kills that were not punished at all on the side of LPE.
And speaking of punish, LPE, they punished Blacklist so hard at this point. They got the kills, got the turrets in one fell swoop, and got the Lord as well. For Blacklist, they need to be able to pull this off.
They get the hook onto Esson, but I don't think it's enough because they will trade him out for BMO. And now
Aspect
in
low.
the backlines, Aspect forced to use the Tempest Ablaze, but didn't actually catch anybody as Arch catches too. In the process, already bursting them down to half HP, and they're still pretty healthy, LPE. They can still force out the sieges here.
Well, level 1 Lord marching down top side. It's a 1-for-1 exchange for now. And LPE, Arvs is playing really well on this Luigi. One of the main catalysts on why Blacklist International is behind by 5k right now. But Blacklist International, they're still inside this game. Wise may not be as strong as he wants to be at this time around.
It's a
but
fake
Oheb,
diversion.
5-1 and 2. You have to keep your eyes on Oheb in this game.
LPE is already on the point where they're also faking out the diversions, and this might be an engage by Blacklist International. The hook doesn't connect onto Arvs, and they're getting fended off here by the Meteor's shower.
It's a Meteor Shower dealing so much damage on Esson, and Esson had to go back. This is bad news for Blacklist International. The Divine Glaive pickup on Jake the Dog, that early Divine Glaive just gives so much magic penetration for the side of LPE that you can't discount the fact that that Meteor Shower will hurt. Most of the time it will, even if you're a tank, even if you're Esson, it's gonna hurt.
Man, I almost said Meteor Shower.
It is a Meteor Shower.
I mean Storm.
Meteor Storm.
Yeah, that's why I got confused earlier.
That sounds like another ult.
That sounds like another ult. Maybe, it may just be a Storm because Jake the Dog has been very impactful in throwing down the Meteor Showers.
Yeah, and not just impactful, but also quite safe. Picking up the Winter's Truncheon as well, plus that Flicker is still available. Definitely, even if Esson were to land a hook on Chang'e, still be quite safe. Even if Oh My Venus decided to just go with the ult, try to focus on Jake the Dog, he has defensive options right now.
Look
LPE, they're ahead by 7 or by 5.
BMO scouts out the members here from Blacklist International. I feel like they're going to try to go for another fight here near the Lord area. Esson misses the hook as well.
No massive hook coming in from Esson just yet. I mean, Esson is a great Franco player, but looks like Edward is trapped.
Forced to flicker out. Blacklist International. Esson is aggressive, but still no hooks connecting from him.
That's gonna be a sad time for Blacklist International, that's for sure. Esson needs to start landing those hooks because LPE, they're just going
on the back lines. They get the suppression onto Aspect. Big opening for Blacklist International. They have to fall back, but Arvs is in the back lines. Oh My Venus and Edward spots him out, and they will be zoning him out in the process, but Arvs just dishing out a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Ryota gets taken out by Wise. He's still alive. How is Arvs still alive in the 2v1? But finally, Oh My Venus will pop the ult, will be forced to flicker out. BMO's going to be there to try to help out his teammate, but it's just Jake the Dog. That's going to be impactful, and BMO has nowhere else to run.
A 4-for-1 exchange in favor of Blacklist International. Gotta say though, Jake the Dog dealt so much damage in that fight, but Blacklist International, they found the targets, they split it up. I don't think that the diversion play was the correct play to call for LPE there. It divided the fight for LPE, and Arvs was left to defend himself against a 2v1 scenario with both Oh My Venus and Edward. It's not a fun time if you're gonna go against those two people.
And Yeah, and Wise is slowly racking up the kills because of that. If anything, Arms should be accompanying the entire team.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Accompanying the entire team, tried to get Weiss in the process. Ryota, this might just be death.
Yeah, he is forced to really die out. There's nothing much that Ryota can do here. No matter how tanky you are, you're going to be forced to recall, and that is an advantage that Blacklist International can take advantage of. The Detsunata will be forced out onto Jake the Dog, not really finding all the marks. It just hits onto Jake the Dog himself. And now they're trying to fend off for the Lord.
Yeah, Blacklist International, suddenly the gold lead is cut back to 2K, which means LPE, they're not necessarily losing this, but the moment Esson finds a good hook, this might just be over. That's the fight.
They get the ultimate onto BMO, and BMO has been crucial, and Blacklist recognizes that. That's a disengage.
And I love that disengage from both teams. Blacklist and LPE, they both know that that's not a smart fight to take. That was a make or break for any team there, and it was both on a bad place to happen. LPE and Blacklist, they're gonna dance for the Lord right now, and whoever gets this Lord will have a massive shift towards Goldendom.
Man, speaking of gold, there is still a goal lead here for LPE, but how long until Blacklist swings the tide in their favor?
Well, we have to watch on how Blacklist International would play this late game, because LPE, they're just waiting for one big mistake coming in from Blacklist. This could be the mistake if they walk too closely.
Oh, that was too early of a Guardian's barrier. Could have locked Edward inside that bush.
Could have, but it did not happen. In LPE, they're going to wait for another chance. That could have been a chance. I don't think... Oh, Edward actually had a flicker. Could have burned the flicker out there if that wall actually landed. But looks like LPE, they're going to bide their time right now. Going to wait for the next big objective to be there. They're going to go for the fight. Esson doesn't land hook once again. Esson has to land those, that's for sure.
Yeah, and judging by the fact that Aspect is just freely roaming across the map, they're not checking Aspect. That's not something you want to happen. And once again, BMO gets spotted out by 3 members, but does it matter? He can just heal it up. Esson is hiding in the bush though, waiting for an opportunity, because the Lord will be started off by LPE.
Yeah, that gorgeous barrier
nice
actually
block
take down
onto
one.
Esson, forces the flicker out, forces to use the meteor shower just to force Blacklist International out. Zama Force will be on the downside here. Who will secure the Lord? And they will be stolen away by Blacklist International, and they will be forcing the aggression. They get the bite onto Arms, and he manages to make it off by the skin of his teeth, but that is still the Lord going to the side of Blacklist.
No kills going down for both teams here, but Wise going back with a vengeance. Taking down the Lord with a well-timed retribution means they have the Luminous Lord marching with them at this game. Blacklist International, Wise was very behind in the early game, and that was a make-or-break moment for him. He was the only guy with retribution, and he was the one that secured it for Blacklist International.
And this is slowly falling apart for LPE. If anything, they need to make sure that they secure a good team fight, and they need to focus on taking down Wise in the process.
And taking down Wise is another task that LPE could do, but honestly, I think the guy to take down right now is Oheb. Oheb is 7-1-4. Take down Oheb for LPE. That's the win condition for their fights. If you can't take down the Harith immediately, he will deal a lot of damage. We've seen a lot of late game Hariths. They kill 5 people if given the chance.
Yeah, I agree. Oheb is the threat here. The Lord is not much of a threat. It will be easily dealt with here, as Blacklist International will be sieging on over to the top side. Edward gets the Daytona's welcome on Ryota, but that's not the better choice. But again, that kill is a kill, and Oheb is going to secure that kill for himself. Mid lane will go down. It's a 4v5, and Blacklist, they're just knocking on the doors here for LPE.
Well, one more kill could just change this, but Esson doesn't land the hook,
no
and that's
flickers
a
available
charge
for him, but
guiding
he just
wind
escapes.
Oh my god, what a great guiding wind coming in from Blacklist International. Oh my Venus saves the day once again. Well, looks like they're gonna go for the top side this time around. LPE, they're waiting for Ryota to come back online. 25 seconds on their tank. This is gonna be a long wait for them as the minions pile up.
This may be the longest 16 seconds that LPE has ever experienced, because Blacklist International are on the verge of securing match point for themselves. BMO just trying to look for an opportunity to go for the wild charge to force Blacklist in a bad spot. Aspect almost getting hooked. They're forced to use the Tempest of Blades for no reason.
Yeah, I think that's what you call the zoning hook. The zoning hook coming in from Esson. The hooks weren't landing, but at least they're zoning them off. But you know, LPE right now, they are still in this game. We've seen 10k gold leads turn around. We've seen base defenses like this one go full 180 to the other base, and miracles happen. That's what I'm saying. LPE, they're waiting for a miracle to happen. They're defending well. The Lord will be spawning a minute from now, and that might just be it.
The miracle play has to work for LPE. They need to throw a Hail Mary here from out of their playbooks.
Yeah, and not just a Hail Mary play coming in from LPE, but you have to acknowledge that Blacklist International, they've made Weiss into still a viable carry at this point on. It's already 20 minutes.
20 minutes, and he should have majority, all of his items locked in at this point, and he will be a threat. Now, LPE has to watch out for Oheb and Wise at the same time.
Yeah, and Esson just casually throwing out another iron hook. I love the zoning hooks here. It doesn't really have to land. It's just gonna be thrown out, bait out the Tempest of Blades. Who cares? Blacklist International right now on the lead. If it works, it works. And for LPE, the early aggression did pay off, but it seems like they can't close this game off.
Yeah, it's a good... I mean, all things considered, LPE has very good wave clears here on Ards, on Jake the Dog. And they got good counter engages as well. If ever Blacklist International decides to fight them off, BMOS just can use a wild charge to knock everybody up. But then again, this Lord is coming up. That is a Lord that is important for LPE.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of great plays coming in from BMO, and the time is right now. If he's able to put a massive wild charge for the side of LPE, then that's going to be the game-winning play for LAUS Playbook Esports. But for Blacklist, they just need to avoid that, and things would eventually come their way, given the late-game potential is now online.
Slow pushing lanes for Blacklist International too. They have all the priorities that they want here, and they recognize that BMO is alone, and they will do what they can. Here comes the diversion here of trying to force Blacklist International out of the position, but they don't really mind that. They're just focusing all their efforts on the BMO, and LPE are now going to be responding to this aggression. They find Edward in the process. Ryota might be gobbled up by the Daytona's welcome, and he will get stunned up on the wall, and there's nothing much that LPE could do here in this fight, but Aspect will be rejoining in the fight. The wild charge is no longer available here for BMO. No counter engages for LPE. And now Aspect in the backside goes for Wise. Wise almost taken out. He makes it out alive. Aspect is done. The wild charge is made. The immortality will be popped, and now it's a 3v5. It's not looking good for LPE at all. That was a costly engagement for them, but they're still pushing forward. Blacklist International hook once again not connecting onto Ards. Venus lands onto Ards, I mean, and this has to be the game.
This has to be the game for Blacklist International. One wrong engage, one wrong rotation changed it all. And even if Wise were severely behind in the early game, Blacklist International, they find the ways to come back. And this is game one going to Blacklist International.
And that was a game that looked like an LPE game in the early game. And this winning moment is brought to you by Oppo A94. Now, there are a lot of things that can be asked here. What went wrong for LPE?
Let me just say it first, Weiss did not like that game, that's for sure. At the early game, Weiss was level 1 while the Ling was level 4. At that point on, it could have been an LPE game. Well, let's discuss on why it became a Blacklist game.